From a economic standpoint, we're just thrilled as can be that salt cedar beetle has taken off and it's causing so much defoliation all over the panhandle. From a scientific view, it couldn't get any better. We have something that we've been working on since 2004. All of a sudden these beetles have just exploded all over the panhandle this year. I would say that we have significant defoliation of salt cedar all the way from the north of the Canadian River down to Wichita Falls in the eastern side of the panhandle. All summer long we've been finding these beetles in almost every watershed and stream that we've looked at. We're interested in how this came about. We thought that this beetle was, for all practical purposes, kind of out of the picture. But we think that maybe some of the climatic effects that we've been having, the warm springs without late season cold and freezes, may have helped them come along and be able to reproduce more quickly than normal. These beetles all come from the Mediterranean region, so they're adapted to hot temperatures. Days on end of 100 degrees or more, just what they like. So we're real happy with that. We think that's the reason why they've just exploded this year. What will happen in the future will depend a lot on the climate. If we have continued weather similar to what we've had, hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler, but that shouldn't hurt them too much. They should just continue on. There's always a danger if we would have a late season freeze and these beetles are just coming out that it could knock their populations back. But we're going to hope for the best and hope that they just continue defoliating salt cedar for the years to come. We're in Hall County and we're close to the Mulberry Creek, and this is a site where we've had some really good activity by salt cedar beetle on salt cedars. And you can see down here this brown band. All of those trees have been defoliated by the beetle this summer. Also mixed in there you can see a lot of green trees, and those are some native cottonwoods. There's mesquite down in there, a number of other species. But one of the things that you'll note is that the beetles have selectively just hit those salt cedar trees, and they're not going anyplace else. But they've caused enough defoliation to take off all of the leaves off of these trees. They may resprout a little bit even this summer, but they've been stressed quite a bit, and we're hoping that the beetles will come back in again next summer and hit those trees that are resprouting, and over time will kill them off. A really good question that we get a number of times with this project are what salt cedar beetle will do after it kills off salt cedar, and I think this is a really good example here. If you look on this side, we've got some wild plum and we have some mesquite back here, and they're still really green. They've not been attacked at all by the beetles. They're very healthy plants. But if you look over here, you can see what for all practical purposes is a dead salt cedar, and the beetles have taken all of the leaves off. There's been a little tiny bit of regrowth that they probably come back and get next year, but you can see kind of dramatically here that these beetles are specific to salt cedar itself. And there's a little bit of a problem, I think, with the term salt cedar. It has a tendency to let people think that these beetles will attack cedar, but the real name for this plant is tamarisk, and it is really not a true cedar at all. That's just a common name for it, and the beetles have no tendency to go to true cedars either.